Hey guys, I'm getting to the end of the build of my CNC machine. It was a smaller machine, but parts of it weren't working properly. Most of the plastic printed parts weren't very good. So I replaced everything with aluminium, and I'll measure those up and try and put that in the parts list that you're going to have to build. And I'll try and find the video for that. So yeah, here I had to lift this up, but really it didn't. It's once you tighten these up, they're tight, so you don't really need to cut them off unless you want to just make it look nice. But I can put the drill on, which I'm going to do in a minute, and show you how it goes forward and back just to test it. And this is now wider, a lot wider than what it was. It is now, what do we got? It's around about let's say around about 380 wide. So you've got 380 across, you've got 400 going up. You're not going to be able to use that whole area, but you'll be able to put the gantry there. You got the motor there, and once you put these onto that gantry, what you'll need to do is put these on at the same time, because on one side you'll be able to fit them, the other side you probably won't be able to. You won't be able to go past that, so you're better off to put that one on at least. And yeah, so now we'll just do a quick video of the electric motor going. Now, there's my drill. It's replacing that motor for the moment because I don't have that working, with no power. But this is how I'm testing it. So, it's nice and easy to use. And that's it. So yeah, just testing it is a good idea to make sure your rails are right and everything's working. What have I replaced on the build? Well, I've replaced these arms. They've gone up to 400s. I think I had to get another one of these to replace it. Not sure, can't remember now. And I had to replace these two actually I had to replace two of those beams. So I had to order two. So I ordered two of those beams. I ordered two of the side beams, which I ordered later because I realised that I could do that. I replaced all the running gear underneath. If I can turn it up, you'll be able to see it. Most of that you can get off AliExpress or eBay, which is, they come in little bags like that. And you just have to make the aluminium up yourself for the rest of it. I've just got to do these ones left. And I did order some of these, which I saw on a lovely Indian guy. Put these in to make this more sturdy, and I'll start off with that. I did buy a bigger motor, which is a 500 watt, which is probably too big for this, but it's a start. I've got to start somewhere, and I've got to start learning how to use the software, which is another thing. I did, on my last strip down of a couple of photocopiers, I ended up with a lot of switches, two different types, which can be used as end stops. And I'm thinking of putting some end stops everywhere to make it easier for myself, because yeah, I've never tried using a CNC machine before. Now this model is quite reasonably cheap. I'm not sure whether it's going to be any good or not, but it's a start. So once we put the gantry on here, which will go on that beam there, then we'll be able to have a look at it. So Most of this stuff needs to be put on before you put the side bits on. Just remember that. Don't put it together until you put all these along the beam and that, especially that, before you put in one of them. And yeah, make sure you get it square. Get it square and make sure you've got it nice and square. So I got a square, and I'll square and I put it on, and it's nice and square both sides. So yeah, you can even flip it upside down and do a measurement from with a tape measure from that corner to that corner and that corner to that corner, and double check your square. And that's about it for the moment. Okay, these are printed. You can see the printing marks on the sides. These I'm going to have to tighten up very lightly because the other ones just broke on me. And you can only screw them to there because the holes aren't big enough to go straight through. So you could drill them out and then drill that out a little bit bigger, and then put yourself in a washer, which would probably be a better idea, but I'm just going to leave it that way for the moment. The bridging looks pretty good on that, so yeah, we'll get that done, and we'll start putting the gantry together, hopefully. Place the T-nuts into the slots before you put your end brackets on, otherwise you won't get them in. And the T-nuts are for the actual 45 plastic that holds it up. So just putting the ends on, then we're going to quickly put it up, and we should be almost finished other than doing the wiring on this thing. So yeah, stay tuned, or just fast forward through it and just check out what you have to do. There's a lot of videos out there with this stuff on. I just decided to make mine a little bit different, extending it only because a lot of the printed parts were broken when I got it. So I ended up starting the modifications way before I'd even put this thing together. Okay, don't try doing it this way where I'm trying to put the T-nuts in with the actual squared up pieces of aluminium bracket, because I couldn't get it on that way. It's easier just to put the T-nuts in, slot them in, and then put it on, which I found out a little bit later. So my mistake is your saving grace. All right, let's keep building. The tool that I'm using here, the screwdriver, is easier to use, but if you haven't got one of those, the parts that come with the actual CNC will be able to, or the tools that come with the CNC will be able to do the same job. It'll just take a little bit longer. And yeah, and just tighten it all up. Make sure you're in line with that bottom rail and square it up as much as you can, because you don't want it out too far. And that should do it. And then all you have to do is put the 45s on. The 45s are a little bit harder to do, but you have to move them with another tool to get it into position, and then hold them there while you screw them in, because they're actually very tight for the screw. So yeah, and then you should be able to get it all put together. All good. So this bit comes in a plastic jacket with the item, and it's got two screws that need to be tightened up onto the shaft either side. Don't over tighten or else you'll strip it, but tighten it enough to do what you need to do. It's all ER11 apparently. Collet, not much, because this is the first time I built one. I know that I've seen it online that that's what it's called. Anyway, now I've got to work out this wiring, because the diagram shows this diagram on the printout if you get the paperwork, but it doesn't tell me which one of these is X, Y and Z. But it does tell me that this wiring here is off the board, so this wiring here that I'm just putting on now is your motor, your plunging motor power, and it can go on one of two ways. It doesn't actually explain it in the paperwork, but you should be able to work it out one or the other way. And I didn't have the power supply up to check it out, but yeah, that'll plug in. It's only a 2-pin on the backboard, and it's on the left hand side, I believe, by itself. Once we've put that in, my big klutzy hands trying to do it. After popping down, I could see the X, Y and Z. They're very small written. So from the left hand side you've got your X, your Z, and then your Y, and then the X. And there I've got a little close up of it. Okay, so that's the X there. That's the Y. And that's the Z. So let's hook that in. So one end's larger than the other end, and if you get them around the wrong way, they won't fit into those sockets, as I found out, but it's not on the video. So now they go in, so your X and Y is there, and they'll run down to the X and Y motor, and we just have to hook up the Z. We've got it all finished pretty much. And yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe and please like, and please pass it around if you'd like. Love to see you guys giving some comments and some instruction on what software I should be using for this. That'd be great. All the help would be much appreciated. And it's getting near Christmas, so yeah, happy Christmas everyone when we get there. It's been one of the hardest years I've ever had, and I think it's been hard for everyone else. So, but we'll get through this and head on to the next year. So yeah, all good. So that's it for this one. So we're just going to hook up the Z motor, or the plunger motor in this case, and yeah, then we're going to have to get some software to sort this out. So that's about it.